Deadly Premonition is that rare game that makes you question just about everything you think you know about what makes a game good. At first glance, it looks like a ridiculously subpar D-list horror title. And to a degree, it is.
It's about time to get started.
But Deadly Premonition is so joyously strange and uncompromising in its vision of what it wants to be that it transcends the clunky controls and pedestrian combat and becomes something almost elegant.
There goes the civilized world.
At heart, this is a love letter to the cult TV series Twin Peaks. A young girl is murdered in a rural town, an FBI agent who talks to an unseen companion is called in, and the offbeat townspeople make the investigation anything but pedestrian.
My pot, it's getting cold.
The anchor of the whole thing is Agent York and his apparent insanity. He's far more interested in talking to Zach, the other person in his head, to the point that you can even listen to him discuss pop culture with Zach while driving around the town.
You say Fred Ward, and I say Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
Deadly Premonition is strongly reminiscent of a really ambitious Dreamcast game. It's a heavily story-driven open-world survival horror game with comedy elements.
You understand that, right?
The kicker is that while just about every element of the game is flawed, it feels like the flaws are intentional.
The best stew is one that isn't overboiled.
The map doesn't zoom out quite far enough to be useful. The auto-aim isn't quite accurate enough to be worth using. The need to eat and sleep to keep up York's effectiveness is just prevalent enough to be irritating. It's actually a rather ingenious balancing act. The game is full of great moments, endearing characters, and hilarious side quests. Divine your fortune from your morning Java.
F.K. in the coffee.
Collect trading cards of local residents. It's easily a 40 to 50 hour game if you do everything.
Haste won't lead you to what you seek.
We freely admit it's entirely possible to hate this game. But if you're a Twin Peaks fan or you remember the horror games of the previous two generations, you just might fall in love with the town of Greenvale.
Oh, man.
4 Laura Palmers out of 5.
Knew I could count on it. Never fails.
Here for more on the bizarre Deadly Premonition is Abby Heppy. Now, some people are saying it's so bad it's good. Is the game actually bad at all?
No, I mean, graphically, it doesn't look up to par with what we're seeing these days. But in terms of the game mechanics and how it works, it's almost like they purposely tried to hit that bad spot, and they kind of did, but it works.
Well, yeah, when you intend to be bad, that kind of means it's kind of good.
We've been calling it like the best horror game that you didn't play on the Dreamcast.
Now, who would you recommend this game to?
Fans of Twin Peaks, for one, because it's pretty much like Twin Peaks.
Well,
the
there's
video
a pot
game.
lady that's in the game.
Yeah, who's kind of like the log lady in Twin Peaks. I think if you really like horror games, if you really like kind of psychological and weird, just if you like stuff that's really bizarre. And again, if you like the Dreamcast.
Yes. And if you don't like the Dreamcast, then shame on you anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So, now, there's odd similarities between this game and Alan Wake. You know, they're both kind of in the Pacific Northwest. They have just, those superficial. With these two games together, are we starting to see kind of a new trend in horror games, moving away from, what we've just known as kind of the blue scary monster?
Sure hope so. I mean, both of them do such weird and interesting things. Like, I feel like if you almost combine the two games, you'd have, like, the perfect one. It's sort of, Alan Wake, we all expected it to be sort of open world, and it's not really. It's actually very linear, which I think works very much for how they tell the narrative in the story. And then on the other side, you have Deadly Premonition. That's totally the open world. You can go play darts at the bar. You can go drive your car around, kill some,
Because when a psycho killer is out there, take a break, play some darts.
Yeah, I don't know. Just drive around, do some side missions.
Now, the upside to this game is that this isn't even a full-price retail game at $60.
No, it's $20.
Well, which is obviously that makes it almost an essential. You should be
I don't know why you wouldn't buy it for $20. Although I believe it was full price in Japan.
We'll see. There's some
Lucky
advantages
us.
to being here stateside. Abby, thank you so much for dropping by.